Hey, what's up everyone? Cardboard.Capitan here, and today I want to share this deck that I've been tearing up Alchemy with. As you can see from the statistics, I have 24 wins, 6 losses uh, on this deck called Desert Sword, and I want to see how far I can take it. This is Alchemy, by the way, since I haven't been having too much fun in Standard. So if you're looking for a deck to try in Alchemy, get your feet into the format, take a look at this, because it's not like a lot of decks in the Standard format. So with that said, let me go to the inspiration. Oh, wrong thing, yeah. Okay, let me go to the inspiration for this deck. Now, I was looking for the original creator of the deck. He goes by the username GDINut, but I can find their profile on the website. So I'll go with this, and it's more or less the same version. The basic idea is to use a bunch of desert synergy cards. You have a bunch of deserts, first off, and these deserts do damage to the opponent. I'll come back to that in a bit. But you have some desert synergy cards like Sand Cloud Harbinger, which will gain you 3 life and draw a card. You also have Outcaster Greenblade. It searches out a desert card and has power and well, additional power and toughness based on the number of deserts in play. And Desert Stew, which is a great removal considering Go for the Throat is out of the format. And it's not limited by creature type like Shoot the Sheriff is. Um, Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, with an additional -1/-1 for each desert you control. Great also versus mice, so you don't have any exploding mice. Dead weight, also more removal. Now, originally I tried this version, and the thing I was most hesitant about uh, was the white itself. Because, okay, so why is there white in the deck? There's Porcine Portent, okay, removal and win condition. And you also had Sand Cloud Harbinger. And the thing about this is I found that it was too inconsistent to be good. Like, you'd put deserts in both you and your opponent's library, or the first 10 cards of your library, and there's no way that it would guarantee that it would mess up the opponent's game plan, nor would it guarantee you success in your opponent's game plan. Also, the life gain didn't really matter too much because gaining life by itself doesn't win you the game. It stops you from losing the game. So, of the 3 colors, I felt white was the weakest. Now, green and black have great synergy here. You have Vine Lasher with Lookout. That's a combo. Lookout with any of these ping deserts. That's a combo. Sandstorm Verge. Lookout. That's a combo. And basically the idea is you want to snowball this land advantage into Fecund Green Shell. Creatures you control get +2/+2 as long as you have 10 or more lands. 1 copy of Gissa in this version. Anytime you commit a crime, you make 2/2 blue and black zombie tokens. Lumra, bring back your lands, and so on. I played this for a little while, and I didn't feel white was the strongest, so that's why I swapped over to Sultai, the blue and black version, and there's 2 key cards that blue adds. So first off, Grow Old Together. You seek 2 creature cards from among the top 10 cards of your library. Um, and then creature cards in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. Now, what's great about this is that a lot of your synergy is based off of creatures. So, for example, Iridescent Vine Lasher and what's the card? The Lookout, Free Strider Lookout. You'd want those in play to continually commit crime and get lands into the field. Um, Now this version has a few more creatures. Deep Cavern Bat, one of the best creatures in Standard. I felt that this deck lacked a lot of disruption. Early on, it had good creature removal, but in decks that needed disruption, like particularly Heist, um, this Deep Cavern Bat was really helpful. Also, Myth Weaver Pawk. Um, It lets you copy lands that come into play, the very first land that comes into play. So that means double ping lands. That means double conduit pylons, double the surveil if you're trying to dig. And it also has power and toughness equal to um, the number of lands you come into, the number of lands you control. So, it's a bit of redundancy with Outcast or Greenblade in terms of attack and toughness, but it's welcome. Um, these are two difficult creatures to remove for red and green, where their removal is based off of power and toughness. So they're great versus those decks. Let's see. I also added Doppelgang. It's won some games, but this is more of a outgrind your opponent card. Um, Most of the time, you're using it to copy your ping lands with Vine Lasher in play, so you're doing a lot of damage through these pings. But there's times where you might want to copy, say, Virtue of Persistence, um, or something on your opponent's side. It's just a very situational card. It just happens to have a lot of synergy with the cards in the deck. Um, as far as lands go, the only major change I did put was Mirage Mesa. Now, since this is a 3-color deck, um, it can be hard to get consistency sometimes, and Mesa is a desert as well as you can choose what color of mana it produces when it comes into play. So that's the main board. Let me talk about the sideboard briefly. So with a sideboard, you can change up some of the win conditions. So like in here, your main win condition is just beats to the face, Vine Lasher triggers to the face, land triggers to the face, Green Blade, Pawk to the face, and so on. However, with sideboard, you can change to Heist. You have 4 Grave Expectations, 2 Outrageous Robberies, and usually I'll try that if I'm on the draw against Heist. Phantasmal Extraction, more disruption. You can pair it up with the Deep Cavern Bats. Eclipse versus creature decks, in particular mice and lizards. I haven't fought too many of those recently, but it's there. Pick your poison I'm most hesitant about. Um, you want to include a lot just so you can draw it early, but at the same time, if you draw it late, it's not as good because there's a chance that your opponent has a multiple of the same type of artifact or enchantment, and therefore they may sacrifice some that you don't want removed, like you wanted someone else removed. So I think maybe I'll switch these out to the Paw Patch formation. Um, so I'll see for next time, but a lot of the enchantments you remove, like Getaway, the Heist card for Virtue of Persistence. Other that, um, this is what takes care of it. Finally, Thought Stalker Warlock. It's also more discard, and it has synergy with the ping land. So you typically drop this on turn 4, unless you have Iridescent Vine Lasher, or you can swing in for damage and disrupt your opponent further. I don't want to cover strategy too much. I'd rather show it. So throughout the week, I'll try to commentate some matches. I have a whole lot of Desert Sword matches, a little bit of the evolution. So stay tuned for that. Let's see. With that said, if you enjoyed the content, you can follow me on Twitter, X formerly known as Twitter, under the username Cardboard.Capitan. You can find this deck and other decks for Standard and Alchemy so far on my Mox field under Cardboard.Capitan. And that does it for now. So wherever you are, have a good night, have a good morning, have a good afternoon. I'll see you all next time.